The word love is used rather loosely in our modern day society. You can be loved today and be hated tomorrow. You can be loved based on your possessions or even social status. But my purpose right now is to tell you about a love that is very different to what the world portrays. It is God's divine love. In the book of Genesis chapter 3, it records a very sad ordeal. An enemy named Satan came to our world and tempted the first couple, Adam and Eve, to believe a lie. He convinced them that to think that God was not kind and that he was preventing them from reaching their full potential. Unfortunately, they chose to turn away from God and believe that old devil. It was a serious mistake because they cut themselves off from the very source of life. Their choice destined our planet to be under a new ruler, that is, Satan, who would eventually destroy all people unless someone interceded. It was the introduction of sin through disobedience which created a separation between us, humanity, and God. That resulting in death. Romans chapter 6 verse 23 says, "The wages of sin is death." And so in order to reconnect with humanity, the greatest act of love went right into action. John 3 verse 16 records it. "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Because of God's great love for you and I, Jesus willingly took the wages of sin upon himself. Christ died so we could live eternally and not to have to die. Jesus' life without sin covers my life of sin so that I can have eternal life. You know, when I discovered such profound love, it prompted me to do some reading on the word love. And you know what I found? I found out that the Greek language distinguishes at least 4 different kinds of love. They being eros, agape, phileo, and storge. Among these, the definition of agape stood out for me because it was defined as a kind of love which was selfless, a kind of love which was unconditional, and most of all, sacrificial. And I believe that this defines the love that God has towards us all. One of my favorite texts is found in Jeremiah 31 verse 3, and it says, "Yes, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness, I have drawn you." You know, interestingly, the first verse of one of my favorite hymns goes like this. "The love of God is greater far than tongue or pen can ever tell. It goes beyond the highest star and reaches to the lowest hell." Friends, have you experienced God's love in your life? You know, just as he went seeking after Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, today God is seeking after you so you can experience his love. All you need to do is open your heart and let him in. Revelation chapter 3 verse 20. "Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and dine with him, and he with me." Friends, this is the promise that God is giving us. Are you hearing God calling you today? If that is the case, please harden not your heart, because he wants you to experience His love in your life.